And to talk about another
Mhm.
great show, one of the best ones that CW has ever done, Nancy Drew, which we got a comedic
Oh, I
episode.
love this episode.
Season 2, episode 10. I was watching it. I was like, what the hell are we up to? Any Buffy fans out there, it kind of reminded me of, I want to say, I think it's Band Candy is the name of the episode. It's
Oh
like season
yeah.
3. It's like the most, it's so weird. Like everybody gets high on candy that the band sells. And I think Beer Bad is another one that's kind of like
Mhm.
crazy and outlandish. It reminded me of those episodes. And I have to say, I enjoyed seeing a different side of Kennedy
Yeah.
as
Yeah.
Nancy. Like that was so fun. Girl was just, for lack of a better word, horny. Thanks to a ghost. And Kennedy just, oh my God. I, I need my own podcast where I just talk about Kennedy McMahon's performances for an hour and a half because she was just so hilarious, totally game. Oh my God. Stop me from rambling about Kennedy.
The range,
Committed.
though. Yes, she
Mhm.
was. It was comedic, but it felt very serious. Like this
Yeah.
is an actual problem, complete with 80s music. Like
Yeah.
every
Oh yeah.
time the men showed up, it was like a Fabio sequence.
But I did
Oh
love the message of the episode. Like it
yes.
wasn't just like some random one-off. Like Nancy was really rattled by this reporter who was like, "Look at you being all modest on the internet." And Nancy was like, "But I can be all the things that I want to be, and don't make me feel shame
Mhm.
if I did want to post a bikini pic or if I wanted to date, if I have feelings for 4 different men. Like these things should be okay, and no one should be congratulating me for not participating in living my life the way I please." I was like, yes, do this story with some laughs. I loved it. I thought it was a
Yeah.
great message.
Yeah, I totally agree because from the public perception of Nancy Drew, both the character in the show and in general, you do get something of a modest kind of reputation, and that's not a bad thing. But I do love the fact that it delved into Nancy as a person. It was like, well, okay, but even if that's what I am, I shouldn't be judged if I wasn't that, if you know what I mean. And the fact that we used such a hilarious episode, you kind not forgot about it, but you moved on from it and had dealt with the moments in the episode, and then they came back to it at the end, and I was like, wow, what a lesson! Love
Mhm.
that for you. It was brilliant. I really enjoyed that, and the best kind of episodes are ones that can make fillers feel far more important than the main story, and that succeeded for me.
I didn't expect that was the direction the journalist was going to go in. I
Yeah.
thought she was congratulating her on her front-facing social media being curated to show an image that she knows would be respected. Not that when she went like, and you're not even bikinis. I was like, oh girl, no, I thought you were telling her good job for not putting any
Mm-hmm.
any scandalous pictures on your Instagram. Not, oh no, it's buttoned up and tidy. It's exactly what we need. I will say though, Nancy isn't exactly repressed like at all. I think this show has always
Mm-hmm.
been very about her being able to express her physicality and be intimate when she wants to be intimate.
Mm-hmm.
So it was interesting seeing a plot where she's suddenly feeling repressed, even though she isn't. Like, I think they'll have 4 different guys, and it all to be different for her lust to grow throughout the episode, and then it be very much the way that she talks about them is different. Like what she wants from each of them is different. Like Nick is residual feelings. Ace is she's repressed those feelings.
Mm-hmm.
Gil's the new guy, and she'd rather not like Detective Tamara, but we're here.
Why was
Yeah.
I kind of into that?
Right,
No.
right.
I was like, Detective Tamura, I didn't know this about you. You've been so mean that I haven't even noticed that you're kind of attractive. But they had a lot of really good chemistry,
They
like even
did.
though it was sudden. I even liked Nancy and Gil. That
Mhm.
was fun. And I loved the scene it was the diner when she has her slow-mo feelings for Nick and Ace, where she like goes in a spiral and she's like, are these all feelings that I've repressed? And because Ace is the last one she had feelings for, I was kind of like, oh, is she talking about Ace? But it can be for any of them because like they're
Mhm.
all men that she interacts with, and we don't know what no one knows what Nancy feels besides Nancy. Even then, it's a question mark for her. She doesn't know what she feels. So like, I don't think she knows what she feels for any of these 4 men. And I think that's a really good probably a good metaphor for her like confusion in life is like she doesn't know what's going on. She doesn't know how
Yeah.
she feels, but she should be open to explore that if she wants to, and she did.
Oh yeah.
but not with the guy that I was expecting.
Yeah. I feel like the whole everything about this episode was so clever, but a lot of it was on the nose intentionally. Like you can't do an S watch or an S watch and say, oh, didn't notice anything from that episode. But aside from all the really obvious stuff, the most subtle part for me was when she did have that line that you said, Reed, about, or was it feelings that I repressed? Because when she said that, she literally looked back at S, who was behind her. It's the only time she cut to look back. And we've said about how the show is very good with subtleties and everything. And I think that was
they didn't
really,
make that
really
a
subtle.
thing. Like,
yeah,
I was like, are they gonna have like everybody look at Ace and make this a moment? But it was just Nancy talking through her possessed moment from the Lust dress.
And she got to touch his hair, which apparently is something that she's wanted to do. But
did that remind you of Dynasty, Michael?
When did that? Can I touch your hair?
Yeah, when Fallon was obsessed with, I think it was Crystal number 2.
Yeah, it
was obsessed
yes.
with Crystal number 2's hair. She'd always make comments. She's like, can I touch your hair?
And now Nancy has had her own moment to the point where we had to put her in the freezer, though she has to be put in the freezer to be able to cool down.
I love the fact that she was being so sensible about the whole thing. And yeah, we have to follow protocol, put me in the freezer. And then it goes all quiet. Nick shows up on the outside and she's like, Nick, can you come in here? Can I see
that
you?
moment, I was like, Kennedy needs to do voice acting. She wasn't on screen and it was an amazing performance.
It was.
I think also, speaking of like unexpected performances, they were selling Odette in Bess.
Yeah,
I could see it as like, not that's George's body, so that's a no. As Ace very was like, no, it's not okay, and Bess knows that. But like, they did a good job of talking through how Bess was feeling when she knows she shouldn't be feeling that way, because that's her friend's body, even if the person inhabiting it right now is not her friend.
Yeah, I mean, for when we said last week that we wanted not rid of Odette, but the Odette storyline to come to a head, certainly didn't expect it was going to go in that direction. I know when she said she wanted to spend time with Bess, that maybe it would start going in that direction from her end. But wow, they really made you feel it when Bess started feeling it. The scenes they had together were adorable, and yeah, I don't know if I still want Odette to go immediately. Obviously, there has to be some kind of resolution, but I'm eager to see where they go with the storyline.
I still want her to leave.
Get out.
But it was really unexpectedly cute. I think I like that they gave Bess something fun and light to do after the past couple episodes. But yeah, I did not expect when I started the episode that Bess would be kind of in love with Odette.
Yeah, and see, the only one who seems to, like, Nancy called Ace smart. She's like, I don't care what anybody says, but he is, because he's the only one who already clocked it was a date. Like, Nick was like, it's not. Bess was like, it's not, until Odette popped out in her date outfit, and she's like, oh, it's a date. Okay, well, we're going to the ice rink.
Speaking of Ace, can we talk about this brother thing?
Yeah.
Yes.
I was terrified when he showed up in that cannery, which was like an abandoned building. I don't know what a cannery. I don't know what I thought a cannery was, but it wasn't that. And I was like, Ace, why did you go alone? And I didn't understand what the box was and the picture of it was.
So was it was a picture of their dad? Was it to prove that he is his brother? It was just kind of like, that was very networky. Like, we're running out of time here. Let's just do a tease for the next episode. But they agreed they were going to meet up, and then he just left the box instead. And it was the picture of their father. Yeah, and so I guess this kind of proves the theory that they are brothers. But the fact they kind of explained that in the episode already, then kind of made that, okay, this is not that much of a tease. But I mean, I'm definitely intrigued to see where it goes in the next one.
I want to see the brother.
Yeah,
I do too, especially because we had that conversation in the parking lot where, like, Ace took Bess step by step through the story, which again was really like, let's do some exposition. It wasn't really, it didn't quite land the way that I'm sure they wanted it to, but we got there. So I just like, okay, no more explanations of why he hacked into a government database to find his brother. Let's just see the brother. See if it's someone masquerading as the brother, and the brother actually still doesn't know who he is.
Do we know who the brother is? That's another question I have, because whoever he is, he got to Horseshoe Bay pretty quickly. I don't know where he was first, but
I don't remember. Did he say? I don't remember. I know that our listeners have said that we need to, like, actually pay attention to the text messages that come through the phone, because there's information in there. But I'm sorry, y'all, I don't always pay attention to the text messages. So if the brother said where he was from, I just know that Ace did say what he was from.
I don't think I tried to read the text messages and I don't think anything big was in them, but he does have the man saved in his phone as long lost brother question mark, which is such an ace thing to do.
I think what else about this episode of Nancy? Other than it being excellent, I think the reveal that the journalist does know that Nancy is Ryan's daughter, and that she'd been working for the mom the entire time.
Wow.
Stressed me out.
Yeah. We kind of saw it coming, especially when she lifted the glass at the start, but I kind of didn't expect that twist at the end because the journalist's been so down to earth and nice to Ryan, and now you're like, was it all a ploy to get more information? And I can't remember this woman's name. Mrs. Hudson is what I'm going to call her. Just the look on her face when she went, Nancy Drew is your granddaughter. I was like, okay, this is going to get interesting. I know we knew it was coming, but where it goes from here, I do not know.
She didn't look super shocked.
It was kind of like she knew that. I feel like she kind of knew something was coming, but maybe she didn't know it was that. Maybe I'm wrong, but she's not gotten on with Nancy in the past, so I can't wait to see what their kind of dynamic works out to be.
Well, because she's a murderess by adjacent killings, is she not? Like, she's never irresponsible, but she's like always knows when it's happening, is completely fine with it.
They also brought up Nancy's ancestor, Temperance Hudson. Had we heard about this person before? And did it have only a connection to this particular episode, or is this ancestor going to be a thing?
I feel like the ancestor is going to be a thing because I believe it's tied to the women in white. And we know that is going to be a thing for this season. Simply because we watched episode 12 like months ago. and that was
I don't remember anything that happened in that episode, but I will be watching that one again.
But yeah, it's just, I believe, if I remember correctly, she's a part of the women in white, which is why Nancy was like, I can't believe that my ancestor was a part of something so repressive.
Yeah, it was very layered, the conversation about the women in white, because they brought it up, and again, exposition. Oh, these ones who helped with the Oglicker or whatever, very expositional. But George was very much like, they're badasses. And then Nancy later on found out that, no, actually they were involved in the whole like repression part of it. So it was, this episode, for being such a hilarious one, had so many layered conversations in it, and it was nice to say. And I feel like, yeah, you're right, the women in white will have more of a role going forward.
So I guess we will learn more about Miss Temperance. But I guess considering the meaning of her name, Nancy should have known that repression was going to be there. I think it literally means moderation, doesn't it not?
Layers to the story.